with our Virginia landforms and geography, and we are moving into a little bit more about Virginia. So we're going to talk about Virginia in the past and in the present. That's what we're going to be focusing on today. So we're going to be able to identify different objects that might be from the past or from the present, which is now. So I'm going to show us some different things about this photograph. So again, we have our photograph, and I'm going to click here because Miss Sparks is having a hard time figuring out how to put these side by side. But we have our photograph, and then we have our caption down here. Remember, photographs and captions are best friends. So it says, Powhatan villages looked like this. What do you think the Virginia Indians used to make their homes? Now, my first question is, now, would we drive down the street and would we see homes like this? Would we see homes like this? Yes or no? We see homes like this because it just said these are villages, or if we drive down the street, would we see a city that had stuff like this in it? You're like, Miss Sparks, no, I have not seen those. Now, my next question is, if you're driving down your city, what would you see? Just driving down, what would you see? Say some things that you would see. Yes, I'm thinking of you're going to see some trees. That's the same. But we're going to talk about like buildings, right? So they're made out of wood. They're made out of brick. They have, mostly wood and brick is what we're going to see. But what do you think that these houses are made out of? What do you think they use to make these houses? What do you think they use to make these houses? Yes, maybe it could be straw. Maybe it's some grasses from around here because I see that this is kind of like we have a lot of grasses over here, but not as much in here. So maybe they cleared it, taking all those things away, and then they made this. And we're going to learn what those things are called too. So Virginia long ago looked very different than it does today. And let's go and figure out what the difference between the past and the present is. So look at here. Here's the past. So it has this. They didn't have cameras back then, so they had to be painted. So that's what a portrait is here. And this is a school in the 1800s. So look at the clothes that they're wearing. It's very different. So they might have, it doesn't look like they have a uniform because they're not saying the same thing. But perhaps then these are a dress code that they had to be wearing. Notice the girls are all wearing skirts. And the boys are, they're buttoned up on all these different, look at this. They have a jacket and pants and boots. Look at that. Okay, the past is things that have happened already. So when we talk about what we did over the weekend, that is the past because we talk about it on Monday. And what we did over the weekend was on Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday. So in the past, life was very different from today. There were no TVs or computers back then. People did not shop at malls. There were no cars or buses to take people places. Absolutely not. There were none of those things. So the past, they had to go in wagons. They didn't use air travel and go on an airplane. So here's the present, things that are happening right now. We talk about that in our mindfulness, staying in the present moment, meaning right now. Life has changed. Change is something that happens to make things different. Today, very much like change of how we do school right now. That's a big change. Today we wear comfy clothes. We have computers, fast jets, and smartphones. Virginia has changed a lot over the past 400 years. Many important events happened right here. Many famous Virginians helped make America a strong nation. Let's look back in time to learn more. So we're going to be learning more about how Virginia started. We're going to be talking about Jamestown and the Powhatan Indians or the Native Americans. And so it's going to be really exciting to look back on how Virginia started. Now, first we got to know the difference between past and present. So looking here, I have 4 different pictures. Now, what is something, where should I put this? This is an arrowhead. Should I put this something in the past, something that's already happened? Or do we see these things now? Is this happening right now? What do we think? Yeah, this is the past. This is something that we don't see now. But we can unearth it. Ooh, that's a big word. Or we can find it like as a fossil or an artifact. They call that an artifact, something that was used in the past. So like archaeologists can find stuff like that. So that's things that are in the past. What about this little teddy bear? Is that something that they would have in the past? Like, could they dig this up as an artifact and be like, oh yes, this is something that they used back long time ago? They're like, Miss Sparks, that would not look good in the dirt. Right, that's something that we have now. What about this picture, this painting? Remember, I said they did not have cameras back then. So where does this go? Where does this go? In the past or the present? That's right. This goes into the past, and you guys are like, we have those iPhones, those smartphones, your Samsung, whatever your Galaxy is, and that goes into the present. Now, all you are going to do is pretty much the same thing that you're going to be doing. You have a past and a present, and you have different pictures down here. So you're going to sort them, and Miss Marks already put one in the past and one in the present. So if it's not something that we use today, then it goes into the past. If it's like, yeah, I can hop on that motorcycle right now, I can watch that TV, that smartphone, then that will go into the present, meaning now. So past, what happened already, present, what is happening right now. So go ahead and sort those different pictures on the past and the present, because we have to know what's in the past and the present. We gotta know the difference before we can talk about Virginia long ago.